people are seeing this, and opposition seeing it as a change of heart. But the PTI people and Imran Khan doesn't see it as change of heart. Actually, he is looking for snap polls, and he wants that since he has developed the momentum and he has seen the public response to his calls, he wants immediate elections and wanted that he should be able to, or whoever wins the next election, a regular government, a permanent government should appoint the army chief. But the situation is right now we are in middle of the September, and there are less than 2 months left. And even if elections are announced right now, Election Commission of Pakistan would be needing some 60 more days to hold elections. So, and it will take a week or so to form the next government. So, the time of army chief's appointment would pass. Actually, the existing army chief will be retiring in November. So, he wants that this power of appointing new army chief should not go to the incumbent government or to any interim government. But he wants that what he thinks is that he would win the elections and he would be in power and could decide the army chief's appointment. Sources claim that it is not the situation that army chief will seek his extension. It is the time people are guessing and people thinking about it that the army chief or the army as an institution would have decided about the new panel for the army chief. It is the time that they should brood on and discuss the seniorities and profiles of the senior generals, and they will actually develop a panel of 3 or 5 senior generals and send the panel to the Prime Minister for formal approval for the appointment. And actually the PMLN government or the PMLN-led coalition government wanted that they want that they should exercise their right to appoint the army chief since they are in the government and they are holding it. So this is the situation. This is the one provision he has voiced that his lawyers has given in the option, the one provision that it could be that if government should or the all set up, the political forces and the army establishment decide that let the legitimate government, as Imran Khan says, this is not the legitimate government. It's a government formed through a foreign established through the foreign consulates. So he wants that a legitimate government should decide this, and because as I said that there are not more time left to allow fresh elections within the time period or the tenure of Javed Bajwa to complete the election process. So it is time. Invariably, they will be needing that this appointment should be delayed for a while, and elections should be announced immediately, so that a legitimate government would appoint the army chief. But the incumbent government is in no mood. It says that it is the time, and they have faced all the criticism and they have faced bashing of the public while holding this government. And why not? They would continue with the government, and they want that they should actually be deciding the appointment of new army chief. Actually, this is a whole scenario. Imran Khan has developed his campaign, and he is actually in a perpetual campaign mode since he was ousted from the government. And since then, he's among the public, and he is touching the chords of public sentiments. This is like gaslighting or post-truth, and people are with him, and they want that he should use this momentum for his cause, for his election, and for win of the PTI to form the next government. But the decision to give a call would be very tricky. if we say 30th September. Though Imran Khan has said that he has written letters to the districts organizers and even at ground level leaders of the PTA governments or office bearers to be ready to. And the first option they were thinking was that they would block the country, and every segment of the party's organization would come out in their respective areas, block roads, and suspend the functioning of the country. And later, there were many other options as well. As the PTI leaders say, that it is a very innovative party, it's a cutting-edge party, and it can come up with new ideas, and that could be wheel jam strikes, shutter down strikes, or some other kind of strikes. He wants to use actually this kind of momentum. But the problem is we are in the middle of floods catastrophe. Half of the country, that Sindh and Balochistan, is mired in floods. Even in Punjab and KP, there are floods, and there are a couple of districts that are being affected. So people are focusing on the relief activities as well. So this is what would he be able to choose this time to give a call for a long march, and then he would go or could go or not. And as you asked that whether he was thinking, he has mentioned somewhere that he would be thinking that he would be dissolving Punjab and KP governments. But I don't think so, because it would not be possible for him to lose the power, because he needs power, and these are two major provinces, particularly Punjab. He would not lose any government in Punjab or in KP, because he needs their government support for the success of his any protest. As you know, when the PMLN government for a short period was in Punjab, it could not even, its long march, PTI's long march, could not even go out of Lahore. And the PMLN government tortured or pushed or used force to keep all the workers, leaders within the limits of Lahore. So they couldn't even go ahead. So there are problems. Even Imran Khan wanted that the Punjab government should take action. There are issues. Police had taken certain kind of measures or actions, that is transferring some senior officers, police officers, and even transferring some SHOs who were in part of this whole process of blocking the long march in Islamabad. So there are quite a difficult and tricky situation for Imran Khan to give a call at this time. PTI wants that we should. This is the high time, because government is not going in the right direction. PTI says that government has failed to implement the economic policies that could give relief to masses, and it could not handle political situation as well. And there are so many administrative and governance issues in all provinces, in the center as well. Provincial governments are not, particularly Punjab and KP, are not responding to the central government, and they are pushing pestering the federal government all the time, so that and they are developing their pressure on the PML and PDM government, and that's why it is also seemed cornered for some reasons. But this is the real fact, is that there are pricing issues, there are floods, there are many other issues that needed to be dealt with. But the focus is not on the flood. Even during the floods, Imran Khan has continued his protest campaign, and he was building his narrative. So these are the situations, and PTI wants that if elections are not held, nothing can happen. They say economic stability can only come through political stability, and they say that political stability will only come through fresh general elections, where a neat and clean new government would be formed.